Hello, my name is Pooja. Welcome to this week's episode of Around the World. It is a well-known fact that Russia has invaded its neighboring country Ukraine in the last week of February 2022. Till now, thousands of people have lost their lives in this war. However, the war between Russia and Ukraine has still not come to an end, and a new front of confrontation has started smoldering in Europe once again. Actually, tensions have escalated between Serbia, a southeast European country, and its neighbor Kosovo, which calls itself an independent country. According to the Kosovo police, the borders between Serbia and Kosovo have been closed after Serbian protesters opened a fire. As per media reports, NATO's KFOR mission, that is, NATO-led security force of Kosovo, has also made preparations to tackle this adverse situation. On one hand, NATO supports Kosovo, and on the other, Serbia is considered an ally of Russia. In such a situation, this tension is indirectly being seen as a tussle between Russia and NATO. However, Kosovo seceded from Serbia and declared its independence in 2008. Kosovo's declaration of independence was outrightly rejected by Serbia. However, some countries of the world have recognized Kosovo as a country. On the one hand, tensions between Serbia and Kosovo have still not ended. These tensions have culminated in the recent conflict. Moreover, the discordance between Russia and NATO has also added fuel to the fire in this issue. We will try to understand the complete politics of Serbia-Kosovo issue in today's episode. We will also talk about the stand of Russia and NATO on this issue. We will also try to comprehend India's stand on the Serbia-Kosovo issue. Let us first know about the geographical location of Serbia and Kosovo. Both Serbia and Kosovo are located on the Balkan Peninsula in southeast Europe. Serbia shares land borders with Hungary to the north, Romania to the northeast, Bulgaria to the southeast, North Macedonia to the south, Croatia and Bosnia and Herzegovina to the west. It also claims to share borders with Albania through the disputed territory of Kosovo. Furthermore, Kosovo shares borders with Serbia to the north and east, and in other directions, it shares its borders with other countries. We will discuss the whole issue as well, but first let's know a little historical background to understand the entire context. Yugoslavia was established as a federation of 6 republics after the victory of the Allied powers in World War II. These 6 republics were Bosnia and Herzegovina, Croatia, Macedonia, Montenegro, Serbia, and Slovenia. However, the Soviet Union started disintegrating in the 1990s, and Yugoslavia also met the same fate as racial tensions broke out in the country during this period. The 4 constituent republics declared their independence from Yugoslavia between June 1991 and April 1992. Serbia and Montenegro also jointly declared their independence from Yugoslavia. Later, Serbia and Montenegro also got separated from each other. Actually, the separation process was initiated by Montenegro. A referendum was held in May 2006 in which 55% of the people voted in favor of separating from Serbia. Then, Kosovo unilaterally declared its independence from Serbia in February 2008. Serbia as well as Russia also opposed Kosovo's move. However, more than 100 countries have recognized Kosovo as a country so far. We have already informed you that Kosovo shares its borders with Serbia to the north and east. Serbians are in majority in these areas. About 50,000 people of Serbian origin live in the northern region. These people still use license plates and documents issued by the Serbian authorities. These people do not follow Kosovo's rules and provisions. For all these reasons, these areas often remain tense. Since there is a majority of people of Serbian origin in these areas and these people ignore the Kosovo government's rules, therefore the Kosovo government intended to implement the border rules from 1st August 2022. Under these rules, everyone arriving in Kosovo with a Serbian identity card will be required to carry a short-term document. Serbia has also made similar rules for people coming to the country from Kosovo. However, the Serbs living in Kosovo are against these rules. Hence, they are staging protests against these rules. As a result, the Kosovo government has postponed the implementation of these rules for the time being. However, it also had to postpone the new border rules in the past. Earlier, it had postponed the implementation of these rules in 2021. Another thing is that the reason for the tensions between Kosovo and Serbia is not only historical. There is another reason for escalated tensions between these two countries. We had already informed you that Serbia is being backed by Russia and NATO is backing Kosovo. The United States uses Kosovo as a military base, which extremely irks Serbia and Russia. Due to this politics, the Prime Minister of Kosovo, Albin Kurti, has blamed Serbia for escalating the regional tensions and turning it into a war. It implies that another war in Europe may begin after Russia-Ukraine war. Let us look at the world map to understand the nuances of the politics behind the recent Serbia-Kosovo conflict. Currently, NATO has 30 members. Recently, Kosovo and Bosnia have expressed their desire to join NATO. If we look at the map, then we find that Kosovo, Bosnia and Serbia, which lie in the European region, are not NATO members. On the other hand, Serbia is also a strong ally of Russia. In such a scenario, if Kosovo and Bosnia join NATO, then Serbia will become the lone non-NATO country of this region. Serbia is concerned as it will be surrounded by NATO borders. Russia had invaded Ukraine to avoid similar situation. Southeast Europe is now witnessing the similar situation like that of Eastern Europe. Overall, the conflict between Kosovo and Serbia needs to be seen in the context of the current geopolitical battle for which the world's major powers are striving hard. Now, another significant question arises that what is India's stand on the Kosovo issue? According to a report, 117 out of 193 member countries of the United Nations have recognized Kosovo as a country. However, India has not yet recognized Kosovo as a country. Experts are of the view that India has not yet recognized Kosovo as a country mainly due to two reasons. The first reason is that India is a member of the non-aligned movement. This movement states that a country should not join a particular camp. It also forbids interference in the internal affairs of a country. It advocates respecting each other's territorial integrity and sovereignty. Since Kosovo has separated from Serbia and Serbia has not yet recognized Kosovo, therefore it is against the ethics of non-aligned countries to recognize Kosovo as a country. The second reason is that India too is struggling with various separatist movements. The demand for a separate Kashmir and Khalistan are examples of such movements. In such a scenario, if India recognizes Kosovo, then it will set a dangerous precedent for itself. However, it remains to be seen how Europe's politics takes shape amid the global politics and whether the possibility of another war proves to be true or false. Now, let us look at today's question. What are the reasons for the Kosovo-Serbia conflict and what is India's stand on the issue?